Salamat kayo. Kung mukaon sila ginagmay ra nga porsyon. Actually, mura siya ensaymada sa ato. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Katrina and today we're gonna try to do a mukbang video with these French patisseries in front of me. I got these from the local patisserie shops here in our city today, and I'm gonna quickly show you one by one before we start. So while I taste each of these pastries in front of me, I also have some questions that my friends have responded to my post today, which I will be answering. And before the first question, I'm gonna start from this plate. Right here, we have meringue. It's a classic French pastry that is made out of egg whites and sugar only. Very nice. So that's one. I'm not gonna finish because otherwise I'm gonna have a sugar rush after this video. So the first question, well, there's only very few questions actually. It's from my beautiful friend Michelle at Wonderless Wonders in Instagram. My favorite Pinoy food would be anything that is cooked by my dad. He's not a chef, but he cooks very well. Very well in a sense that back in the days, our previous city mayor would actually request him to cook his popular caldereta and paklay. So, basta magpista gani or birthday, magpahimo na sila og caldereta or paklay ni Papa. I also love his humba, his beef steak, but a lot. So, gimingaw na kay ko. And dinuguang po daw na si Ryan. Alright, so the next pastry that we're gonna try out is this flan, or I think it's the leche flan in Philippines. Look at how dense it is. You see? Dili siya mabungkag. I remember, I have one tito. Hi, Tito Bob! Mamili gina siya sa iyang leche flan sa Pilipinas. Mo gina ako ma-remember. Kay katong bata pa may basta magdala gani nag-leche flan sa balay. Before niya na kanon, iya nang scoop. O niya iya nang i-shake sa iya ang spoon. Pag mabungka gani ng leche flan, dili na niya kanon kay wa kuno nilami. So kani, I'm sure he will really love this kay bisag unsaon pa nimo og uyog, dili man siya mabungkag. Oh, actually mas squeeze gani siya. It's very dense. And I really like this one. I always take this with coffee in the afternoon. You can have another bite. So flan is like a custard pie, technically. We have two desserts done. Oh my gosh. Alright, so the next question, it will still be from my friend Michelle. This one's quite hard because there's a lot of them. But my favorite cheese would be camembert. My favorite Danish pastry or viennoiserie is the croissant with almonds on top and there's frangipane inside. I like foie gras, but not the foie gras that you just buy from the grocery. I like Ryan's version of foie gras, which he makes in the restaurant. That's very good. So the third dessert that we're gonna try out is this bûche de Noël. So this is a festive dessert which they only make around Christmas time, or during this time. So it's basically just a sponge cake with chocolate butter cream. Looks like a log cake. Oh, it's hard. Can you hear it? There is some texture at the bottom of this dessert. Actually, I've never tried this before. And it's actually color white. You know what? I asked Ryan if he can join me for a cheese mukbang. And he asked me, what is mukbang? I said, basically, you just eat and then you record. And yeah, that's it. So, you know what he said? Who would want to watch you eat? I don't know. We'll see how many views I will get from here. I'm also having some tea here. The next question is from my beautiful friend Froy, who also vlogs, so you can also subscribe to her channel. I'm gonna link it here. Alright, so my favorite French dish is... I don't know. There's a lot. This one is very hard. To answer this simply, I'm gonna answer it with whatever we served in our restaurant. And for that, since we change every week, there's a lot of them. The very first French dessert that I made was the moelleux au chocolat. So let me know if you're interested, as I can make a video on how to make that dessert. Oh my gosh. Next, we're gonna try this. This one is called tarte tatin. Now, tatin is actually a family name of the sisters who accidentally made this dessert. Now I'm gonna try it first. Now there's a fun fact of this dessert, this tarte tatin. Now apparently one of the Tatin sisters was trying to make the traditional caramelized apple pie. But when she was cooking the apples with the butter and sugar, it almost burned, that she just covered it with a dough so it will not burn more. And then eventually she just served it. They call it apple pie upside down. And their guests loved it. So yeah, that was the birth of tarte tatin. So technically it's like an apple pie upside down. Because when you make it, you start with the apples at the bottom and then the dough on the top. And then balikon lang siya pag-serve. So, muna siya story and ang tarte tatin. My other first French dish that I learned to cook was the confit de canard. When Ryan and I were still living in Qatar, he was cooking it with me. And we ate it with pommes de terre sarladaise. Now, confit canard, it's duck. And confit is you slow cooked it by its own fat. Next one, I'm gonna choose this. It's called the tarte aux fraises. So it's a strawberry tart. I don't have a fun fact with this one, but I took this because it's so pretty. Next, we're gonna try out this tarte tropézienne. It's technically a brioche filled with cream and topped with crunchy granulated sugar. So I'm just gonna give this a bite. I don't know if it will look pleasant, but this one's nice. Actually, mura siya ensaymada sa ato. This, I also have a fun fact. Tarte tropézienne is a famous tart from Saint-Tropez in the south of France at Côte d'Azur. So the story about this tart, because it became popular after Brigitte Bardot named this dessert. So the pastry chef there presented a couple of pastries when Brigitte Bardot was filming in Saint-Tropez, and she really liked this, and she eventually named this tarte tropézienne. And yeah, so it became popular. Next, we're gonna try out this. It's called millefeuille. In English, it's 1,000 sheets. And it is basically layered with puff pastry and pastry cream. Actually, I don't really like this because the layers are very thin. Dali kayo mabungkag. It gets very messy easily. But lami kayo. You know, one thing about the French pastries is that it has the right amount of sweetness. So dili kayo siya tamis, di para sa tuwa. Or even in Arabic countries, their desserts there are very sweet. Kani dili ra kayo. And for our last question with our last dessert, I have from Junica, my friend Juka. She actually made our logo in a restaurant, Le Lab. So shout out. There's actually a lot, and I can make a separate video out of that topic, but I'm gonna give you one answer. But first, we're gonna try out this dessert. It's called Paris-Brest, Well, it's a modern Paris-Brest because traditionally it's in a shape of like a donut. It's a circle, and there's a fun fact about that. If I remember, Paris-Brest was created to commemorate the bicycle race from Paris, Brest, and Paris. So Brest is a port city in Brittany. So it's in the northern part of France. This one is shaped like an eclair, and I actually like this one. So to go back to the question, French dining etiquette different from the Pinoys. One major thing would be slow eating in France. Now, slow eating, I mean, it's a culture here. I-take yun ni mong time magkaon ka. Di ka pwede magdali-dali. And I think there's a benefit to that in your health. Sa imo apong digestion. Bisan ganit ka ng lunch break nila, dili magdali-dali. As in, malingkod jud ka, kaon ka, imong ichu, wala kay laing huna-hunaon. And also, for example, I'm gonna share an experience. One time, I took one flan and another cafe eclair. And iya kong giingnan sa iyang mama nga, "Are these all for you?" As in, ano ko, yes. Kay para sila, daghan naman ko ni. Kung kaning isa ka serve ani, para gini siya sa isa ka tao. And moro gini mong dessert nga kanon. Murag, kung duha, murag daghan kaayo ba para sila. Murag, it's too sweet, too much. Nga kita kay, namin itong kaon o lain-laing klasik. Kung ako lang, no, tinood lang, mahurot man ako ng isa ka flan o kaning isa ka eclair siguro. Although not kanita ng grabe na sa ni. But yeah, here kay ginagmayra. So that's it for today. I think I've had enough sweets for the entire week. Medyo tamis na kayo. I hope you've enjoyed this short mukbang with the French pastries here in front of me. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Au revoir!